Hello, my name's Joanne James and welcome to another tutorial by the Crafty Owl. Today I'm going to show you how to make one of these, a quintessentially British Christmas pudding using the Stampin Up Gift Bow Bigz Die. I was inspired to make this project by a similar tutorial from Create with Connie and Mary earlier in the autumn, where they made pumpkins using their big bow die, and I thought they could be used for all kinds of different circular objects, so ornaments, but particularly Christmas puddings. So let me show you how to make one of these. What you need to do is you need to take your Stampin Up Gift Bow Bigz Die, which looks like this, and for the side pieces here we need 5 of this piece here. So you need to cut 5 pieces of chocolate chip cardstock, each measuring 10.5 centimeters by 5 centimeters, and simply place those onto your die and roll them through your Big Shot. Once you've done that, you'll end up with 5 pieces that look just like this, and then in order to get this lovely kind of bobbly effect, which reminded me of all the kind of fruit that you find in a Christmas pudding, I put these pieces through a polka dot embossing folder. So literally in a 2 and a 3, just pop them in like so, ran them through the Big Shot, and then was left with something that looked like this. The next thing that you need to do is you just need to take your scoreboard and ever so carefully just score the tab lines. So you just need to score down at the end of the rounded part of the bow to create some little kind of tabs, and then as you can see here we're going to put some sticky strip onto each end, because that's what's going to enable us to put our pudding together. So before we actually put our pudding together, we need to make a central column. So if you look again at the Christmas pudding, if you look inside, you can see these pieces here are attached to a central column. And for the central column, you need a piece of chocolate chip cardstock that measures 2 3/4 inches along the length by 2 1/8 of an inch on the side. And I apologise for mixing between centimetres and inches here, but for the purposes of scoring it's so much easier to use an imperial scoreboard. So you need to put your cardstock in and literally score at 1/2 inch intervals. So score at 1/2 inch, 1, 1.5, 2 and 2.5, and then you'll be left with this small piece which is just under 1/2 inch, and on that piece you're going to put some sticky strip, because that's the bit that's going to join it all together. So once you've made those score lines, you just need to fold them like so, and then on that final piece, if I just put my scoreboard to one side, so on that final edge piece you need to remove the sticky strip and stick the whole thing together, just carefully lining up the edge with that crease there, and it will give you almost a column shaped like a pentagon. So as you can see there, that becomes the central column, and that will give you rigidity for your ornament, but also gives you something to stick these smaller pieces to. So all you need to do now is just, having put the sticky on the outside, so on the embossed side, attach them around your central column like so, and just push them together, and you can see there that's the shape that you're looking to create. So you just need to do that for all of the others. Once you've done that, just give the whole thing just a little bit of a squeeze around the top, just to stick those edges together, and that's your basic Christmas pudding. Okay, and then to decorate, I made the white sauce. If you look here, I made this white sauce, which generally goes on the top, actually using my Flower Shop Pansy Punch. So I thought, whilst it's a flower, I looked at all different kinds of shapes, and it was the one that looked most like runny white sauce. So, or it did to me anyway. So I just punched one of those out of Whisper White cardstock. Again, gave it ever such a slight fold with the bone folder, and then literally using some glue dots on the edges of my pudding, attached them together. And I just aligned my white flower up with the top like that. And then to make my holly leaves here, I simply took some gumball green card. I punched out 2 large ovals like so. I then folded these in half. You can do a score line if you want to, and using my small circular punch, so actually using a 3/4 of an inch punch, I punched around the edge of the oval like so to cut away to make the holly. And when you've done that all around with 2 pieces, you'll end up with 2 pieces that look just like this. And then all I did was took a little bit of gumball green ink and a sponge dauber, and I just daubed the edges just to add a little bit of colour and interest to those holly leaves. So and then once you've done that and you've got some interest there, you can again, using some glue dots, I love glue dots, they're very useful for these kinds of projects, you can just stick those in place like so. And then for your berries, you can either use your itty bitty punch circle, that's this one, to punch out of some red cardstock. You could either use something like real red, or I decided I would use glimmer paper. But actually, since I don't have any red glimmer paper to hand currently, I coloured some using my marker pen, and I just thought I'd show you really quickly how to do this, because if you've never done it before, it gives quite an interesting effect. It's not quite the same colour as if you buy the red glimmer paper, but it does give quite a nice finish, and I wanted my Christmas puddings to have just a little bit of sparkle. So I just coloured some glimmer paper using my real red pen and then punched them out. So there's 1, there's 2, actually I need a little bit more. And there's 3. And then simply you just need to take your berries, again more glue dots, and adhere them to the top of your Christmas pudding. I've not allowed this glimmer paper to dry, so the ink's coming off on my fingers now. Really could do with letting it dry for a little while first. And there you go, Christmas pudding all done. And as I say, if you wanted to use it as an ornament, you could always thread some ribbon through, just sort of wiggle it about in between the sections like so, and This piece of ribbon is about 30 centimetres long, and then you could just tie it in a little knot if you wanted to actually make it into a hanging decoration. Or, as I say, you could just leave it plain and use it as a table decoration. If I just show you that there. There you go. And done. So if you fancy making a Christmas pudding using your bow die, that's all you need to do. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial. See you next time.